tragic story of King Frederick and Prince Joachim, two brothers lost to each other forever. Today, it seems impossible to believe, but there was a time when the heir to the Danish throne, Frederick, and his brother, Prince Joachim, were viewed as the same person. The fact that they were born only 12 months apart helped reinforce this image of closeness. In reality, during their childhood, it was common for them to unite against the team of nannies and assistants who raised them in the absence of their mother and father. For decades, the Crown Prince Frederick and Prince Joachim were viewed by the press of their country as quasi-twins of the monarchy, not so much because of their non-existent physical resemblance, but because of the iron bond that united them. The Crown Prince himself told writer Jens Andersen, "My brother and I have a close relationship, and we were taught to be independent. We were always a bit apart from our parents, and were ourselves always together." In the absence of their parents, Queen Margrethe herself admitted that she was not the most attentive of mothers. The little princes had no choice but to contribute, especially when they turned 13 and 14, and their parents decided to send them to boarding school in France, away from everything they knew. They experienced this time away from home under strict school rules in a foreign country as a sort of struggle between the two of them against the world, where their bond was only strengthened. Paradoxically, at the time, the one who would later be considered the headstrong Prince Joachim was a role model for his older brother, who admired his calmness and how he dealt with things. But what he liked most was the unconditional support he received from him. He has always been there in one form or another, and still is. That year at boarding school, I leaned heavily on my brother, Prince Frederick would say years later in the same book, admitting that his younger brother never reproached him for the fact that it was him, the younger one, who had to be the breadwinner for his older brother, instead of helping him. This role reversal, where the younger brother seemed more capable of coping with the problems he had to face as the Queen's son, became even more apparent when, 10 years later, in 1995, Joachim married Alexander Manley. Together with his wife, Joachim took on the role of representative of the royal house, increasing his schedule and number of appearances, while the older brother spent time in fleeting courtships and a somewhat scandalous bachelor life. In fact, there was a time when the Danish people valued Prince Joachim more than the official heir to the throne, and in the public opinion, Joachim was supposed to sit on the throne when his mother stepped down. So much so that Joachim had to give a television interview in 1999, explaining that he would never ever become king. I don't want to seem jealous or treacherous. I also know he knows it's not like that. "I'm very happy with the situation I'm in," said Prince Joachim. But unfortunately, he only had a few years left to enjoy his good position because, in 2004, Mary Donaldson arrived, and everything changed drastically for the two brothers. With the wedding in 2004 of Prince Frederick to the beauty Mary, the beginning of the end of good relations between the two brothers began. Suddenly, the Danes discovered the potential of their crown prince, who finally decided to settle down. The fact that just a year after that royal wedding, Joachim divorced Alexander Manley did not work in his favor. The position of the scandalous prince was vacant, and the national press insisted that Joachim fill the vacancy. By the time he found love again with Marie Cavalier in 2008, the damage had already been done. Relations and roles between the princes changed forever. The court was closed to Prince Joachim, and the prince and his new wife moved to Paris because of the silence of the new Danish ruling couple. With this move between the two brothers came silence, and public and private manifestations of these good relations no longer existed. Sad moments when Prince Joachim referred to himself in the press as the second boy and clarified that he realized his best moment had already passed. "For every child that Frederick has, I take one step down the stairs," Prince Joachim said on television in 1999. What are your thoughts on this? Let me see them in the comments. Thanks and have a nice day.